We're in the waning cycle of the moon, and this is one of the most crucial waning cycles of 2022. Why? Well, I'll tell you all about it in this week's podcast. Welcome to the Mainly Moonology podcast. I'm your host, Yasmin Boland, an award-winning astrologer and the Sunday Times best-selling author of books including Moonology and creator of the Moonology Oracle cards. My intention for this podcast is to help you understand how you can create your dream life using mainly Moonology, the moon, as your guide. Well, hello everybody, it's Yasmin here, and I'm very excited right now as I sit down to record this podcast, because as soon as I finish recording this, I'm going to do something I've been putting off all day, and that is go upstairs and start packing, because I'm off to the US of A tomorrow, the United States of America. Haven't been there since January 2020. I was in Nashville then, I think, and then I came back, and as we all know, the COVID hell broke loose. I haven't been back since. So I'm very excited. I'm going to be going to a conference actually in Palm Springs, where I've never been before. Palm Springs, if you don't know, is in the Californian desert, which I'm especially excited about, because I'm just imagining that being out in the desert in California is going to be a whole vibe, a whole thing in itself. I'm looking forward to meditating there. I'm looking forward to just seeing how it feels to be out in the middle of the desert. Although I know Palm Springs is quite built up, just to be out there in nature like that, in that dry, can't say cold. I hope it's not too cold. In fact, I know it's going to be warm, but that dry sort of arid Dust Bowl, is it dusty? I don't know. I'm going to find out. Anyway, I'm really excited about that. Then I'm going up to Los Angeles. I know some of you have got tickets to my LA workshop on October the 23rd, which I'm really excited about. All the tickets to that have now gone. That's October 23. Then October 25, we're actually going to get the new moon eclipse, which I talked about last week and I'll talk about again next week. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I'll be in LA at the time of the actual eclipse on October the 25th. I'm definitely taking my little portable fire pit because I think I'm probably going to want to do a little fire somewhere. And then by this stage, I'll be with my husband and son, and we're going to be going up to Seattle for my October 28 workshop. If you don't have a ticket to that and you'd like to join me, come along. There are still tickets left. It's quite a large venue. And we sold a lot, but there's, I think, still some to go. If you want to join me live, we'll be talking about the eclipse. It's going to be about how to use the energies moving forwards, because by October 28, we'll have actually had the eclipse, and we'll just miss the last of the full moon, of the new moon phase. We'll be just into the crescent moon phase by the time I do the workshop. So that's actually brilliant, because it's about to, okay, I've made my wishes, I've set my intentions, now what? So we'll be talking about the eclipse. We'll be talking about why eclipses are so powerful for manifesting. I'll be explaining to you where the eclipse energy is in your chart, because even though it will have been a couple of days since the eclipse energy actually lasts about 6 months for reasons I'll explain in the workshop. We will be doing some new moon wishes, even though it's going to be the crescent moon, because honestly, it's still really a really powerful time to do it. Any time in the waxing cycle in theory is okay, but just after a new moon eclipse, even if it is the first few hours of the crescent moon cycle, it's still good. And in fact, we'll be able to see a sliver of the moon because it's an evening workshop, so that's nice. I'm going to teach everyone a powerful chant to help boost their manifestations, and I'm very much hoping to be able to give you all a 12-month new moon planner to take home. So that is my October 28 workshop just outside of Seattle in a place called, I think it's Bothell, Bothell in Washington State. You can get tickets. It's also online. www.moonmessages.com/WA2022. WA for Washington. Right, so this week, how are you feeling? I actually just, because I'm recording the podcast, recorded the little intro bit you just heard before the intro music and me talking, and you can hear in my voice, it's a bit low key at the moment. It is a bit low key. Now, why is that? It's because We are in the waning cycle of the moon. Okay, we're in the waning cycle of the moon. What does that mean? It means we've just had the full moon. I did a full moon ceremony here in my garden in London the other day. And it means we're actually moving towards the new moon eclipse, which I've just been talking about. And in fact, this week, what we're getting is the first quarter moon, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But first of all, let's just talk about the waning cycle and why this is a more waning cycle than usual. It's a more, I think you could say, it's fair to say, it's a more powerful waning cycle than usual as well. Simply because we are in this lead up to the eclipse. So the waning cycle takes place from full moon to new moon. It's a 2-week cycle. The waxing cycle is from new moon to full moon, waning from full moon to new moon. And it's when the moon is getting smaller in the skies every night. So if you go out tonight and then you go out tomorrow night and you go out the night after that, or when I'm in Palm Springs and I can actually see the sky, because here in London right now it's grey and overcast, we'll see the moon getting skinnier and skinnier every night, less and less swollen until she disappears altogether at the time of the new moon and the new moon eclipse. So what this is all about, and the way women, magical women, powerful women, and some enlightened men have worked with the waning cycle for millennia, is by divesting themselves of any BS, of any rubbish, any nonsense. It's about just letting go. I always say that the key word for the waxing cycle from new moon to full moon is intention. And the waning cycle keyword, for me at least, is surrender.
What's your dream life like? Did you know you can manifest and dream that to life? Aileen here, Yasmin's podcast producer. I'd like to take a second to invite you to Yasmin's signature 7-day Moonology Manifesting Challenge. It is a challenge where we work with the moon to manifest our innermost desires. In the challenge, we will go through what's stopping you from reaching your best life and what steps you need to take to get closer to it. On day 8, Yasmin will be going live to answer some of your burning questions on manifesting. Get ready to clear your chakras and chant your way to your dream life. Head on to moonologymanifestingchallenge.com to register. The next challenge starts on October 19th. We'll see you there.
So on that note, I'm actually going to do a chant. I'm going to do it 3 times, and it's Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani, Om Namo Narayani. I'm going to chant it. But just so you know, it's the chant from the ashram where I've been going on and off since, I think, 2005 in India, in Sri Narayani Peetham ashram in southern India. And it means I surrender to the divine, or more specifically, I surrender to the Divine Mother. And the reason why it's a really good chant to do right now, as you listen to this podcast, or at least listen to the chant, is because it's about surrendering it all over to the divine. So whatever it is that you're going through right now, whatever it is you need to release, just listen to the chant. Chant with me if you know the chant. Just breathe out. So what do you need to surrender to the divine? Just bring it to mind. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. Just breathe out. Hand it all over to the divine. Your biggest issues, your biggest problems, your biggest challenges, hand them over to the divine. This is the time to do it. This is the time for the energetic clear out. that we all do just before the new moon, and hopefully, a week before the new moon. This is the week we do the Moonology Manifesting Challenge for anyone who hasn't done that yet. I think you can find it at moonologymanifestingchallenge.com, or just Google Moonology Manifesting Challenge. It actually starts, I think, today on Monday, the day the podcast is coming out, because it's the quarter moon. And what we do in the challenge is what I advise you to do anyway. We just give you a hand with doing it, is we just release. We just release. Let it all go and release. Look at where it came from. Any issues that are coming up now, remember, life happens for us, not to us. It happens so we can see where we've been going right and wrong. So if you know you've been going wrong somewhere in your life, now is the time to just hand it all over to the divine. Kenosis, as they call it. It's the emptying out, so that we can refill our cup at the new moon with all our intentions. It's also a really good time right now to think of something or someone you are really grateful for. So just put your hand over your heart if you can, assuming you're not driving, and just bring to mind the face of someone you are truly grateful for. Just say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay? Just say thank you. Send them a kiss. All right, so let's talk about the fact that we have this last quarter moon happening. We always get the last quarter moon halfway through the waning cycle every month, not just because of heading towards the eclipse. It means we're about a week away from the eclipse. And it's a really good time to just do what we're doing here, breathe and let go. And I thought what I'd do is something I haven't done before, or at least not many times, if I've done it at all on the podcast, is to actually read you from my Moonology Manifestation cards, which is my second deck of oracle cards, all about the last quarter moon in Cancer. Okay, because the cards really help to explain the situation as much as they are an answer if you're asking the questions a card, an oracle card. So let's just have a look at that. So the last quarter moon in Cancer, the Moonology Manifestation card for that is, the message is, are you ready? Take a breather. Take a breather. Just take a breather. How does that feel? Does it feel good to think, oh, yes, I'm just going to take a breather? Sometimes situations start out with so much promise and then get fatigued or fizzle out. This is normal. If a situation is dragging on in your life right now and everyone is becoming far too sensitive, it might be time to take a breather. Is this still what you want? If a situation is slipping away from you, it could be due to self-doubt or because too many people are trying to get their own way. If you're struggling to find a balance with a VIP in your life, with a personal or professional connection, it may be time to show your feelings. So when you're manifesting, bear in mind, there could be a clash here caused by everyone wanting to be the leader. Take a breather, give the situation some air. Okay? The manifesting mindset, whatever it is that you want to manifest at the new moon eclipse, stop now and revive. Emotional fatigue is as dangerous as physical fatigue if it becomes long-term. See the beauty in life to refresh your heart. And with all the last quarter moons in the Moonology Manifestation Oracle, you get crystals to work with. So if you love crystals, these are the crystals to work with. Just, if you've got one of them or all of them, grab one or more and just hold them in your hand when you're meditating. I'll give you an ideas for that in a minute. But we've got Amazonite, blue apatite, rose quartz, red jade, moonstone, or jasper. They are the crystals to work with. Choose one and hold it while you meditate, visualizing a glowing green light swirling around you. Alternatively, keep your crystals close by you as you work through your situation, or use 5 or 6 to make a crystal grid. So I have, again from the cards, a manifestation affirmation for you, and I'm going to ask you to use this one all week, okay? Are you ready? You got it? Here we go. Maybe grab a pen. Love is all there is, and I am love. Love is all there is, and I am love. Love is all there is, and I am love. So I hope that makes you feel good, a little bit better as we go through this slightly tricky part of the lunar cycle. It's really important at this time of the lunar cycle that you don't push yourself too hard, okay? Be aware of it. Think, okay, you know what? We're in the waning cycle. Don't push yourself too hard. I was thinking about this actually because, you know, in about, 36 hours or something, I'm going to be landing in Palm Springs and going to a conference. Everyone's going to be like, hi, yeah, let's go to the conference. And I'm going to be like, I mean, maybe they won't be because we're in the lunar cycle. Maybe I should say, listen, guys, this is a really good, conference to talk about what we need to release. But, don't push yourself too hard. I was thinking I should wear a badge saying if I seem a little bit low key, it's because it's the waning cycle of the moon before the new moon eclipse. It's very much a time to let things go, trust in divine timing and surrender. And as it said in that card that I read you out, just take a breather. Take a breather. All right, so I believe that next week I will be talking to you about the new moon eclipse. In fact, I don't believe it. I know it for a fact. So I hope you are going to have a great week. Remember to take a breather, relax, release, revive, and I will speak to you next week. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Mainly Moonology podcast. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe, give us a review, and we'll be eternally grateful. We publish the podcast every Monday, 4 p.m. UK time, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, and I'm afraid to say it's silly o'clock in Australia, but it will be there when you wake up on a Tuesday morning. Have a great week.